Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're talking about one of the most fascinating modern quarters, the 2021 United States $quarter known as the Crossing the Delaware quarter. This coin has quickly caught the attention of collectors all over the country, not only because of its design but also because of its potential value if you happen to find the right one. So stay tuned until the end, because you might just discover that one of these coins sitting in your wallet is worth far more than 25 cents. The 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarter is unique because it marked a transition in U.S. coinage. For years, we had the America the Beautiful quarter series, which featured national parks and monuments. But after that program ended in early 2021, the Mint issued this special one-year-only design to honor George Washington and the historic moment of his daring crossing of the Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. That makes this coin historically significant, because it stands alone between two major quarter programs. On the obverse side, you'll notice the familiar portrait of George Washington, but the reverse is where the magic lies. The image shows Washington leading his troops across the icy Delaware River on Christmas night in 1776, a turning point that inspired hope during the war. The detail is sharp and bold, reminding us of courage, determination, and leadership. This is the kind of design that collectors instantly connect with, both for its patriotic theme and its limited issue. Now, while millions of these coins were made, what really makes some of them special are the rare errors and high-grade examples that survive. Some of the most desirable errors include off-center strikes, doubled dies where parts of the design appear doubled, and misaligned lettering. There are also coins struck with extra thickness in the lettering, giving them a bold look that collectors love. In addition, coins that have unusual die cracks or breaks can be worth a surprising amount of money. Since error coins are always in demand, condition also plays a huge role in determining value. A regular circulated quarter will usually only be worth face value, but if you happen to find a mint state example with sharp details and no signs of wear, that's where the value begins to climb. Collectors are especially excited about coins that have been graded high by professional services, because these are much harder to find in pristine quality, and here's the exciting part. While most of these quarters will only be worth a small premium, there have already been examples of rare error coins and top-graded pieces selling for impressive amounts. In some cases, they have reached hundreds of dollars at auction, and certain dramatic errors can even push into the thousands. That's a huge leap from just a quarter in your pocket, and it shows why coin collectors everywhere are paying close attention to the 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarter. So the next time you're checking your change, don't overlook this coin. Flip it over, check for errors, look at the details, and if you see something unusual or if the coin looks flawless, it might be worth sending in for grading. You never know when a simple quarter could turn into a treasure. Top 2, we are taking a closer look at the 1983 United States $quarter, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance but has some secrets that make collectors pay very close attention. By the end of this video, you'll know why the 1983 quarter is not just another piece of change, and why some of these coins are worth far more than just 25 cents. The year 1983 was a fascinating time for U.S. coinage. Unlike other years where the Mint produced mint sets and proof sets in large quantities, 1982 and 1983 were unusual because no official U.S. mint sets were made. That meant that uncirculated coins from those 2 years were not preserved in large numbers. Instead, almost every 1983 quarter went directly into circulation, where they quickly picked up wear and scratches. As a result, finding a 1983 quarter in pristine, mint state condition is incredibly challenging, and this scarcity is one of the big reasons collectors value them so highly today. The design itself follows the classic Washington quarter look. On the front, you see the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, along with the date 1983. On the back, there's the bold eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches. While it may not have the flashy designs of state quarters or modern commemoratives, the eagle reverse remains one of the most iconic American coin images, and collectors still admire its sharp details when preserved in high grade. Now, what really excites coin hunters are the rare errors and varieties that can be found in the 1983 quarters. Some coins from that year show strong double die obverse, where parts of the lettering or numbers appear doubled under magnification. Others may display off-center strikes, missing details, or die cracks that make the coin unique. There's also an especially famous variety from this year known as the 1983 P quarter with a double die reverse, where the lettering in United States of America and E pluribus unum shows a dramatic doubling effect. These error and variety coins are considered treasures because they are one-of-a-kind pieces that stand out from the rest of the mintage. Condition is another crucial factor. Because no mint sets were made, coins that survived in uncirculated or gem condition are rare. A circulated coin might not bring much, but a coin that has been carefully preserved or found in change with very little wear can be worth significantly more. Collectors who submit these coins for professional grading can discover that a high grade, especially above MS65, brings a serious premium, and now comes the part that every collector loves to hear. While most worn 1983 quarters are only worth their face value, some uncirculated examples and rare error coins have sold for impressive amounts. Regular mint state coins can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to well over $100 depending on grade. But the famous double die reverse examples have sold at auctions for several $1,000s, and top-graded gems have even crossed into the five-figure range, with certain coins selling for over $10,000. So, the next time you come across a 1983 quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a close look at both sides, check for errors, and if it looks sharp and uncirculated, it could be a hidden gem. This is why collectors are always on the hunt for this particular year, because it has the perfect mix of scarcity, history, and value. Top 3. We are traveling back to the 1960s to uncover the story of the 1966 United States quarter dollar, a coin that has much more history and collector interest than most people realize. By the end of this video, you will understand why this particular quarter is special, and why certain examples can sell for far more than just 25 cents. The 1966 quarter belongs to a very unusual period in American coinage. Just the year before, in 1965, the United States Mint removed silver from circulating quarters. Up to 1964, all Washington quarters were made of 90% silver. But starting in 1965, the composition changed to a copper-nickel clad coin, the same metal combination that continues to this day. The 1966 quarter is only the second year of this new clad composition, and for collectors it represents the end of one era and the beginning of another. Another interesting fact about the 1966 quarter is that there are no mint marks on these coins. Normally, you would find a small letter indicating which mint produced the coin, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But from 1965 through 1967, mint marks were intentionally left off to discourage coin hoarding during the nationwide coin shortage of the mid-1960s. This means that every 1966 quarter looks the same on the surface, but the history behind the decision makes it stand out among other years. Now let's talk about rarity and errors, the part that collectors get really excited about. While the majority of 1966 quarters are common, there are a few error types that make certain coins extremely valuable. Some examples include double die obverse where the date or lettering appears doubled, off-center strikes where the design is not properly aligned, and die breaks that create raised lines or extra metal on the surface of the coin. These dramatic minting errors are highly collectible because they are one of a kind, and they can transform a regular quarter into a valuable treasure. Another feature that adds value is condition. Most 1966 quarters went straight into circulation and picked up scratches, dings, and wear. Finding one in high mint state condition with sharp details and clean surfaces is very difficult. Collectors especially prize coins with high grades from professional grading companies, because these are so much harder to find from this era. Even though millions were minted, truly pristine examples are rare and command strong premiums. There's also an interesting side story to the 1966 quarters. Some experimental transitional pieces have been rumored to exist, struck on leftover silver planchets instead of the new clad composition. While extremely rare and controversial, such transitional errors, if discovered, can be worth an incredible amount of money. This possibility keeps coin hunters searching through old rolls and collections, just in case one of these hidden treasures turns up. And now for the part you've been waiting for, the values. A circulated 1966 quarter will generally only be worth its face value. But coins that are uncirculated can sell for a few dollars, and those graded very high can reach into the hundreds. The rare double die errors and dramatic off-center strikes have been known to sell for thousands. And in auctions, certain pristine high-grade examples have crossed the $5,000 mark, making this ordinary-looking coin surprisingly valuable. So the next time you see a 1966 quarter in your change or collection, take a closer look. Check for errors, pay attention to its condition, and remember the unique history that makes this coin stand out. You never know, you might be holding something far more valuable than a regular quarter. Top 4. We're looking closely at the 1994 United States quarter dollar, a coin that many of you may still find in your pocket change, but one that carries a fascinating story and even some surprising value if you happen to find the right example. Stay with me until the end, because you'll want to know just how much certain 1994 quarters have sold for. The 1994 quarter comes from the long-running Washington Quarter series, which started back in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1994, the Washington design with the eagle reverse had already been around for decades, and collectors sometimes overlooked these coins as common. But in reality, the mid-1990s are an exciting period for coin hunters, because it's during these years that some truly valuable errors and high-grade examples appear. The obverse features the familiar portrait of Washington designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse carries the classic eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches. It's a strong, bold design that symbolizes both strength and peace, and though it looks like countless other Washington quarters, the details in condition and minting varieties are what make the 1994 quarter worth hunting for. Now let's talk about what makes this coin rare and desirable. The United States Mint struck 1994 quarters at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, producing hundreds of millions of them. With such large numbers, most of these coins are still very common in circulation today. But the key for collectors is finding coins that are either uncirculated with pristine details, or coins that display unusual errors. Some of the most fascinating errors include off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, broad strikes where the rim is absent, and double dies that show doubling in the lettering or numbers. There are also coins struck on wrong planchets, meaning a quarter design was accidentally struck on a blank meant for a different denomination. These kinds of minting mistakes instantly transform a regular 25-cent coin into a collectible that can sell for serious money. Condition also plays a huge role in the value of the 1994 quarter. Because so many of them entered circulation, finding coins that still shine with their original luster and sharp details is not easy. Collectors pay high premiums for coins graded above MS-65, and truly exceptional examples can bring dramatic prices at auctions. Proof versions made for collectors at the San Francisco Mint also exist, and while many are common, perfect deep cameo examples can still bring a premium. Another reason this coin gets attention is that it came just a few years before the state quarter program launched in 1999, which changed U.S. coinage forever. Collectors often look back at coins like the 1994 quarter as the final years of the traditional eagle design, making them historically significant as well as collectible. And now for the exciting part that you've been waiting for. While most circulated 1994 quarters are worth only face value, coins in mint state condition can sell for a few dollars to well over $100 depending on grade. Error coins, especially dramatic off-center strikes and wrong planchet examples, have sold for hundreds and even thousands. At major auctions, the very best preserved 1994 quarters in top gem condition have reached over $1,000, proving that even a modern-looking quarter can become a valuable treasure. So don't overlook this coin if it shows up in your pocket change. Always check for errors, inspect the condition, and remember that history and rarity can hide in the most ordinary-looking places. Top 5 and last rare coin, we're going to take a deep dive into the 1991 United States quarter dollar, a coin that many people still see every day but one that has plenty of surprises waiting for those who know what to look for. If you're a collector, you'll want to listen carefully, because some of these coins can be worth far more than 25 cents. The 1991 quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began back in 1932. For decades the design remained largely the same, featuring George Washington's portrait on the front and the eagle reverse designed by John Flanagan. By 1991, this design had already been in use for nearly 60 years, and only a few years later it would be replaced by the state quarter program that took the hobby world by storm. That makes the 1991 issue one of the later years of the classic eagle reverse, and collectors often like to include it as part of a complete set that bridges into modern coinage. Now, while hundreds of millions of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and proof versions were made in San Francisco, condition and rarity factors make a huge difference. Circulated examples are common, but uncirculated coins with their original luster and sharp details are far harder to find than you might expect. Many of the coins from this year saw heavy circulation, so high-grade examples in mint state condition are always in demand. The real excitement, however, comes from errors and varieties. The 1991 quarters have been known to display double dies, particularly in the lettering, date, or motto on the obverse. Collectors prize these because doubling makes the coin unique and instantly more valuable. There are also dramatic off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, clipped planchets where a portion of the coin was cut off before striking, and broad strikes that lack the typical rim. Each of these errors tells a story of what went wrong during minting, and each one turns a standard quarter into a collectible curiosity. Another fascinating type of error from this year is when the coin is struck on the wrong planchet, for example, a quarter design accidentally pressed onto a dime or nickel blank. These mistakes are extremely rare, but when they surface, they often sell for impressive sums. Collectors love these oddities because they combine history, rarity, and eye-catching differences. Proof coins from 1991 are also worth paying attention to. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, these coins were made with polished dies and special planchets, resulting in mirror-like finishes and frosted details. While most proofs are common, deep cameo examples in perfect grades can still bring higher premiums, especially when certified by grading companies. Now let's get to the part everyone is waiting for, the values. A circulated 1991 quarter will usually be worth just face value, but uncirculated coins in high mint state grades can sell for several dollars up to over $100 depending on condition. Proof versions in pristine condition can fetch even more. Error coins, especially dramatic double dies or off-center strikes, have sold for hundreds, while the rare wrong planchet errors can bring prices into the thousands. At major auctions, some of the highest graded examples have even crossed into four-figure territory, showing that even a modern-looking quarter can hold remarkable value. So, the next time you come across a 1991 quarter, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Take a closer look, check for errors, examine the condition, and you might just discover that you're holding a piece worth far more than its face value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1991 quarter and its hidden potential, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future discoveries. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.